Welcome to Talking Two Player. We're recently back from
311 Cruise.
We've almost been on as many as they have.
That's a good way to look at it. Yeah, this was the 8th 311 Cruise, dating back to 2010. We've been on 7, meaning performed on them, not just like as fans, whatever.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, the 311 Cruise, first of all, 311's a band from the 90s and today as well. They have such hits as Amber, Down, Don't Stay Home, Beautiful Disaster, Love Song, All Mixed Up.
Come Original?
Come Original.
A lot of hits. They have a lot of hits.
A lot of hits. And every other year they invite a bunch of other bands onto a big cruise ship that has about 3,000 people on it.
Mm-hmm.
This was the Norwegian Gem.
Mm-hmm.
And we went on it again. And look, our friend Tony, who we brought with us, we'll get into our crew later, but he got us these sweet sweatsuits. There's pants, too, but...
Tracksuits.
Yeah, tracksuits.
Yeah, I mean, this time one of our themes, somewhat controversial, but ultimately I think successful, was Tony and I put together a plan to make tons of gear, really in the really bright colors of purple, pink, and light green that we have for 2-player, and that me and you and Tony and Andrew, our crew, wear that exclusively once we get on the boat.
Nice backpack, Tony.
Hey, ready to hit the cruisy boats.
Cruisy boat.
And Tony went over the top and made us incredible stuff, but also did some fun stuff on his own and made these tracksuits for us. So we got these shorts, so we'd really stand out. And then also made some custom stuff for potential subscribers we can get to. So that was kind of our approach going in, and why we're wearing these sweet, one-of-a-kind tracksuits.
Yeah, also it's like 1,000,000 degrees in Austin, and the AC is not quite kicking in, so it's getting a little heated in here.
Well, it's because you worked out right before the podcast. I feel fine.
Okay. I feel fine.
But yeah, that's the 311 Cruise.
Bit of an inauspicious start for you, though. Remember what happened? The passport of it.
Oh, I mean, yeah, we left. Dude, it was a lot. I had to, get up, get Ramona to school, basically get off my bike and immediately leave. And, yeah, I left my passport at home, so we had to turn around and come back for the passport. We made it with plenty of time, though.
Well, we are headed there, right, Dad? We're headed to the airport.
Yeah, you're on your way.
But wait,
However,
are we?
no, we're not. We're turning around. Why are we turning around?
Well, I'm so glad you asked. It's because Bonesaw
Bonesaw
forgot his...
passport.
Oh!
Whoa.
What do you have to say for yourself?
Whoa.
I got everything else ready. I
The
got
one
all
thing,
I got
the
all the
one
gear out there.
thing.
You were supposed to do that. Colleen forgot to fill the thing. We had to stop for gas. I got
Did
all
you
this
remember
stuff
your
together.
guitar? Did you
Yeah,
remember your
even though Hope
guitar?
was supposed to get it for me.
You got your guitar?
I got everybody else's crap.
I didn't get it because I
was
pulled
the one
my
out here
back.
on time.
I pulled a back muscle this morning taking my dad's bag downstairs.
Oh, so it's my fault.
Yeah.
My fault.
It all
I'll
of it.
tell you what this is. This is a classic Kepner blame around.
Yep.
Blame
it
around.
goes.
Just it's not my fault.
That term doesn't exist in the Kepner family.
It
Blame
does
around.
now. I just
I
coined
think
it.
it's just a brother thing.
Classic Kepner. Oh no.
Oh no, it's this one thing.
There it is. See? You're just confirming.
Pointing fingers.
Classic Kepner blame around.
I hear that there's a backup in the security line at the airport.
Oh,
Don't
great.
do that. Don't do that, Denzel.
All right, we'll be back for an update.
Yeah, and then as happens, I feel like the first day of the cruise is just taking a lot of luggage from one spot to another. And we got to Miami, we couldn't find the airport shuttle. We're going into elevators,
that was the
upstairs,
worst.
across streets, and then we got to drop off our gear at the gear truck for the cruise.
Yeah, dude, we waited at this underground spot that last year was the bus stop.
Now what?
Call the hotel to see if first it's coming. It's only 5 minutes away, so.
What's wrong with you?
We can't find our hotel shuttles.
Is that it? Can we take those?
We had our first show on day one.
Yeah. I mean, our schedule was we played our official shows were the first 3 nights. And then we were going to have a subscriber party on the 4th day. And then we added one more show we'll talk about, I'm sure. And that's a long first day because you got to do all the aforementioned dragging of stuff around. And then you eventually get on the boat. It's a lot of excitement. You're seeing folks. That was actually very smooth this time. Previous times it's been pretty stressful, and then you're on there. 311 plays. You sail away, and you're saying hi, and you talk. And then by the time you get to our show, which is in this stage called the Atrium
At 10:30.
at 10:30, it's weird because you've already done all this stuff. You've already been to a 311 concert. You've already like had dinner with like all these people and said hi to everybody. And then it's like, okay, now we're gonna play a show. Like my voice is like 80% thrashed already from talking over loud music, and then it was a long day.
It was good. It was a good show, though. Good turnout. We played pretty well. The first show in a new situation, like a boat, is always a little bit like you're feeling it out, and then maybe by like the last few songs, you're feeling comfortable.
Yeah, a new situation like like the central area of a giant cruise ship. Yeah, the highlight of that show, I would say, was so we did bring back some old full service songs that had been in retirement, and McGuire, we've talked about him before, and his daughter, who's 6, she was there.
Mm-hmm.
And she had, as soon as she saw us, when she got on the boat, she was like, I want to sing Hi Ho. So we closed the set with our song Hi Ho. And she got up and we had set up a little tiny mic for her. The whole time it was just right there in the corner. And she came up and rocked it and danced and sang the chorus, and people went nuts.
She really is fantastic. She got kind of boat famous, but I just also want to shout out Elliot, her older brother. He's a great dude as well. But McKinley's just a little more exuberant, I guess. She loves the camera.
She has fully embraced herself as the player 3. Like, it's not like she's one of the player 3. She's the player 3.
Yeah, can't wait till she starts playing bass.
And
It could be. I mean, like 5 years from now, she could be a bass. Well, no, then she'd be like 11. Anyway, hit us up when you play bass. Yeah, it was a great first show. Like I said, it was a good chance to get the feet wet, dip our beaks in a little bit.
Then all of a sudden, then you're rolling. Then all of a sudden, we're getting off the boat and going to Key West.
Yeah, so Key West was interesting. So we went to the beach. We went to some beach, like it was a 25-minute Uber ride. It was the first and only time on the cruise I got into the water, which was fantastic.
The water was amazing.
Did you guys see that air show at all?
No, I think where you guys went was sort of, there was like a curve between your beach and the beach that Colleen and I walked to. So we could hear these F-45s or whatever doing crazy stuff, but we couldn't see it.
Dude, they were going they were doing figure eights, like making like shapes with their exhaust or whatever. And they were doing moves like they would go straight up, it looked like, and then go straight back down. It was actually more terrifying than entertaining, I would say.
Wow. I'm glad you got in the water. I also swam while we were there. So after we come back from Key West, they had to start sailing, and then we had our late night show that time at 11:45 at this small place called Magnum's.
That's a really late show. It doesn't sound like it if you're listening and you're like in your 20s or 30s, but imagine like a normal day and someone at 11:30 being like, okay, you're on in 15.
Yeah. On the plus side, plus people have been outside all
Listen
day.
to us complaining.
I know. People have been out in the sun all day, walking around, and then the cruise, you're just walking all day on the ship. But then on the other hand, everybody's like home is right there too. So it's like, all right, well, I'm just gonna leave my cabin and go to the show and then come back to my cabin. It's not like I have to do anything else.
That's true.
Which is pretty rad.
That's true.
But that was a good show. I actually liked that show from a performance standpoint better than the first show. Just I felt a little more comfortable. And we debuted Long Way to School, which to me was really exciting. Even though I still had some trouble hearing, I thought it went really good.
Mm-hmm.
And we played, so that I'm really, really psyched about that one. And we played some other fun ones like Sully's Wedding we had never played in many years.
We played a genreification game, so if you could re-genre a song, so people were shouting out things like Roaming Dragons, death metal, that kind of thing.
That was great.
It was a very difficult game. I was, before the set, I was like, yo, why don't we do this? and I thought it was going to be a great idea, and then I instantly regretted it because it was so hard.
But I think from a fan perspective, it was a great idea. A lot of folks thought it was really fun.
Fans like to see us fail.
Yeah. But they like to see us try stuff. No other band does that. It was cool.
Yeah.
And then, so it was right around this time, we are always known on the cruises for doing not just our sets, but trying to make the most of it and make as many fans as we can. This time we were very focused on how to bring subscribers into the fold.
Mm-hmm.
So we had like postcards that were that Colleen and Megan were one night slapped around on all of the tables.
Mm.
And we were going to have a party on the fourth day where people who were subscribers or wanted to subscribe would come. We'd play some games, and then they get a free 2-player hat, and then hopefully subscribe, which was amazing. I'm sure we'll talk about it. But one thing that led to was some of the cruise, like Norwegian Cruise staff, started asking whether these flyers were for them too, which sparked an idea. Megan mentioned that they have a bar for the staff. We're like, what if we played a show down there? Nobody's ever done that probably. So we went to Six Man and asked, and that indeed nobody had ever done a show for the cruise staff.
Right.
And they were super receptive, and they were like, we'll get back to you. And they ended up setting up a show for us on the fourth night at 10 p.m.
That was great. A tiny little bar.
Yeah. So that ended up being an extra show later in the cruise.
Let's talk about Andrew a bit. Andrew Hartnett we took with us as he sort of became our manager on the cruise. He was very good at it.
He did.
But he was obsessed. Two things about him. He was obsessed with this game in the casino where you had to like insert a thing into a shelf and you win like $1,000.
Yeah, it was a game you're not supposed to be able to win, but he was obsessed with it. And I think something like 90% of his onboard bill was trying to play that game.
Well, dude, he makes robots. He's like a robotics team leader, coach. And so I think the robotic of it all was fascinating to him, and he wanted to be able to control the robot.
Yeah.
But really, it's probably rigged. Also, Andrew, did you know his bill for the cruise when he got it the last day was $0 for drinks?
Your bar tab. What is your grand total going to be, do you think?
I can tell you absolutely with 100% certainty what my tab is.
Go on.
0.
What the fuck?
I was committed to free drinks only.
That is insane.
That's why I've got 2 here
right.
now ready. I'm ready to go. From the Artist Lounge. I feel
Thank
very
you,
special.
Six Man.
Thank you, Six Man.
Yeah. All right.
Now, the tab that Six Man paid for me, I don't know that.
Astronomical.
Oh, Tony's bill. Did you hear this?
I did hear it, yeah.
Tony's bill was $311.
Exactly, $311.
$311. And we decided Six Man should not advertise it before, but if anyone's bill turns out to be $311, it should be comped at the end of the cruise.
That's a good game. You should definitely suggest that.
It is a good game.
We did have a third show, official show, which I think ended up being our best show. You know?
A lot of people came out, and the vibe was just right.
Yeah, I mean, we played really mellow. People were really engaged. The kids were there, which was fun.
The things I've been that I'll never be again. Ripping in my soul and skin, sun with the rain when we begin. Carry like a river, all my love. Carry like the wind, carries it down. Hold it in your hand, release it above. Set it all free, baby.
Also, candidates for my favorite show, I think, were the party, which you could talk about here, but also the hallway takeover.
We definitely cut our teeth in our cruise past, doing like literally anything we can to make new fans and meet new people. And it's a little different now because like most of the folks on this boat know us, sort of. But we realized there was going to be a long line outside of the comedy show because, before doors open. So we got our acoustic, went over there and just moved around this line and kept playing a bunch of songs.
And then the party, man, Bonesaw flexed his MC muscles. He was a master of ceremonies in the truest sense, an event coordinator and leader. And he had a lot of like team building exercises and like meeting people. Like one game was we started a big circle.
Should we bring Colleen in for this
Yes,
part?
yes. Let's bring Colleen in. Colleen, I will introduce,
Go for it.
is Bonesaw's wife, Ramona's mother,
Mm-hmm.
and 7 or however many time cruiser. Yeah, so we're talking about the subscriber party. You had a hand in some of the game choices. Can you walk us through what games we played?
So Bonesaw had thought of this game that's a classic tournament game during timeouts at Ultimate tournaments, and he was trying to remember what it's called. It's called Look Up, Look Down. And you stand in a circle and you look down and then you look up. And if you make eye contact with someone, then you're both out.
Yeah.
It's oddly exciting.
It is exciting. It's very, and it moves fast.
Look down. Look up. All right, okay. Who's still in? Who's still in?
Tighten up the circle.
All right, ready? Ooh, it's small now. Ready? Look down. Look up.
I said, that reminds me of this game that I used to do in my classroom, which translates really well, I think, to this setting. And it's called Superfan.
Yeah, this was the
And
best. This is the highlight.
It's basically like a giant game of rock, paper, scissors, but every time you lose, you go behind the person that you lost to and you become a cheering section for them.
One group here. One group there. Ready? Shoot!
As it whittles down to, just a few people still in the game, theoretically, they have a big cheering section right behind them, just like making as much noise as they can in this totally arbitrary game of, of chance.
People were loud as hell.
And it was really, and then it was fun to see, who was the biggest cheering section and who was getting the noisiest.
Yeah, and then like request line game where fans would just
Yes.
we were like, okay,
Yes.
just shout out something. Chances are we haven't played it in forever, so people were really digging into the past.
Yeah,
you
we
know?
pulled out 2 stools in the middle. We weren't amplified, and then people after this games came and sat down. Yeah, like I said, surrounding us, and they pulled out some tough ones, like Evergreen. That was a tough one that I think was
Yeah, I
fun.
caught myself asking, but the fans would like suggest, and I'd be like, just tell me the words. and
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
I found a little view out here tonight. It's cold and I love it, so I think I might build a little fire. We can put it a feet. Listen to the woodshop loudly.
8 inches on the ground.
Your giant paintbrush in the snow. I've ever seen.
And so, like, we ended up with a bunch of emails, and I sent the email yesterday, and we haven't gotten as many that would have hoped so far.
We've gotten 2. Come on, people. Although they're not listening if they're not
Right.
subscribers.
But there's something to that because there was like 70 who signed up, came, got the hat and everything. So
Maybe-
I think I need to send a more effective follow-up email.
If you know anyone that came to the subscriber party,
Yeah.
get online and pressure them.
Or somebody who loves music or stories or, grungy, grimy Austin guys.
Yeah.
I guess.
We're clean. I'm clean.
Sorry.
Clean.
Yeah. Okay.
I was
Not now, but typically. Wait, before I want to go back. We forgot Nassau, and I want to hear about your Nassau experience. I want your take on one thing.
Okay.
And so what we did, we went to we just found a bar and we had coconut shrimp and it was lovely. But did you guys? You must have seen the parade.
We heard it.
Yes.
The hell
And I
was that?
literally thought that there was an emergency situation. I thought there was a crisis. I thought those were ambulances.
You guys would have loved it. Do you know what it was?
No.
No.
Oh my god! Oh shoot! Oh man. Okay. Well, I have footage of it. But so Queens College is a high school in Nassau,
Okay.
and there was endless cars. First, there were big trucks with kids piled in them, everyone wearing green. And they had like streamers and hootin' and holler toys. And so then after the big trucks with all the kids in them, families in their cars would come with like their little kids. So it was all the way from like high school down to like kindergarten. And the entire school, it seemed like, was involved in this parade. It took forever. And we watched it for a little while. And apparently there's a school that nobody likes. It's the Big Red Machine, they call it. And they always win. They're like the Yankees or, the evil empire. They always win. But this year, Queens College won like track and field, softball, volleyball, and they were just going crazy.
We decided to try to find the beach, the public beach, which Junkaroo Beach.
Sounds right.
And we walked through the really, really horrible, like, touristy part where everybody's hawking stuff to the whole time. And then you get to the beach, and the first sections of the beach are like little private, like cabana style beaches, and it's just like tiny little like shack bars, and people trying to get you to come in there. And each one of them is fucking blasting. Like, horrible. And then like 10 feet away, another bar's blasting the same thing.
But no, that's not. That's the same song.
Different tempo.
It's got to be a different song.
Yeah, and then we ran into S.A. Martinez from 311 singer, DJ, and he had gotten some beach chairs with some of the other 311 crew, and they were just sitting there chilling.
And there was also this like really sweet family with 2 little kids, right near us, trying to fly kites. And at first I was like, oh, look, they're trying to fly these kites. What a great day for a kite, because it's hella windy. But they had these tiny little like cheap kites that of course just kept like nose diving essentially onto people, including us. And I kept being like, well, now this is not comfortable because I'm literally afraid I'm going to have a head injury from one of these little kites.
We could have a whole podcast on kites. I've always been of the mind that kites are a dangerous pursuit and unwelcome at the beach in a lot of ways, unless you have space.
Or you send it out over the ocean.
Yeah.
But then you better not go to the Kite Fest because that's this
the
weekend.
Kite Festival's literally this weekend.
You bet your ass I'm not going to the Kite Fest.
Mo and I are going to be there.
Oh, well, wear a helmet.
That's actually not a bad idea.
I don't want to rush things, but I know, Bonesaw, you have to go pick up Ramona in a little bit. So here, I do want to, let's cut away to some of those interviews. Megan and I took some microphones out into the boat on the last night and did some interviews.
I remember.
With some cruisers. So we'll cut to those, and we'll see you back here on the flip side.
Not one.
Hey, Sean. Can we go? Are you?
Oh, shit.
You're about to go on? 30 minutes. Can we ask you a couple questions? Of course. Okay. What was your go-to cruise meal?
Mostly chicken, always soft serve ice cream, several a day.
Did you say 7 per day?
Several, at least several. And maybe 7.
Yeah, if
it depends. It depends how early I get up.
Sure.
Exactly, and how late I'm out, and
exactly.
The availability of cones as well. Cones could be an issue, but they've been on point this year. I haven't seen it unstocked once. Actually, overstocked.
Thank you, Sean from the Unity All-Stars. Appreciate your time.
I love you guys. Always good seeing you.
Okay, so Kevin and Dan from Unity All-Stars are here with us. They're about to play their set in, 26 some minutes? Was there a moment on this cruise, and if so, what was it, when you thought, cruise, you win this round?
Not for me. I've been kicking this cruise's ass.
Hell yeah!
When that boat was rocking last night in Spinnaker, dude, I couldn't stand the headphone disco. I was like, you win, I'm done. That's it for me.
Okay. Thank you for taking the time with us.
Yes, anytime.
Have a great show tonight.
Thank you. Much appreciated.
Thanks, fellas. Eric is currently betting right now.
We don't want to disturb him,
We don't want to disturb him.
but here he is.
Walk us through your situation.
Yeah, what's going on here?
Well, we're trying to win at slots. Oh, it's good. There it goes. Extra
Oh my
spin.
God, he did!
Yeah!
I got
minor.
$20, everybody.
Okay, we will take it.
A live $20 win.
So, did you have the drink package?
No, I had the Starbucks package.
Okay, so here's the question.
Uh-huh.
Estimate your bar tab.
Well, the important thing to remember is to have a lot of friends and be nice. And there are a lot of people who have the drink package.
Facts,
And
yes.
it's super easy to trade a double espresso for a vodka grapefruit.
That is the way it is done.
Yes.
He's a goddamn cruise genius.
I know.
Thank you for being with us, Eric Stone.
All right.
I love
Bye.
you, man.
Can you tell us who you are and where you're from?
I'm Paul, and I'm from Portland, Oregon.
Okay. Paul, would you please, to your best estimate, give us your bar tab for the cruise?
About $13.
What the fuck?
Hell yeah. Well done.
Thank you. Well, that was the wife got a martini tonight, and that was it. Ask us what our coffee bill is.
that's a different story.
I'm Marla Hearn, and I'm from Portland, Oregon.
Shortest night of sleep.
The night that I stayed up to watch two-player.
Oh, she stayed up to watch two-player.
Michael, and remind us who you are, your name and where you're from, please.
The name that Full Service gave me was Tree Saw because I fell asleep in a hammock in a tree at one of their shows.
That's right, I told you about that. Yeah. Was there ever a point in this cruise where you said, Cruise, you win this round?
Today, Bonesaw was like, come do yoga. And I'm like, no, thank you, sir. I've already had 3 espresso martinis. I'm going to go to the spa and chill. I maybe should have done yoga, though. That might be my biggest regret of the cruise, is not doing yoga with Bonesaw at 1 p.m.
That's very
over yonder here. Straight.
Okay, hey, we're here with B-Love. Can you introduce yourself and say where you're from?
My name's B-Love, and I'm from Texas.
Hell yeah.
Now living in California.
Was there a time in this cruise where you're like, hey, cruise, you win this round?
There was one night I went to bed at 2, and that was the earliest that I had gone to sleep on a cruise night.
Oh, so it was a knockout.
They won that. Yeah, the cruise won that night.
But it makes me feel less of a cruiser because when we got to bed at like 2:10, I was like, man, we fucking made it. You know?
Love you guys.
Lovely
Whatever
to
this
meet
is
you.
for.
Yeah.
Bye
Yeah.
and bye.
This was a bad idea.
Maybe they're not there.
Oh my God.
Hey,
he's
we're
in
here
so
with
much
Colleen.
trouble.
We're here with Colleen. Colleen, was there ever a point on this cruise where you said, Cruise, you've gotten the best of me?
I definitely had a hard time in the tremendous wind at the beach in Nassau, and very nearly said, Cruz, you've got the best of me.
That's a great answer.
But I powered through.
But you didn't say it.
I did not say it.
Yes. Okay, thanks for your time. Goodbye.
Was it dark in there?
See ya.
I can't believe how many times you knocked.
Thank
I
you for
told him to
answering.
stop. Just identify yourself. Who are you and where are you from?
My name is Matt McCollum, and this is my lovely wife, Brittany McCollum.
Oh, he's got it.
And we're from Cincinnati, Ohio.
Yay!
And we've been two-player full-service fans for, 13 years? Okay, my go-to cruise meal, we paid a little bit of money, and we went to the Asian restaurant last night because it was half off. And I got a lobster.
Yes.
And then they brought the whole lobster there. And then Brittany would grab the whole lobster and then do this in people's faces. We named the lobster Frank.
Long live Frank.
And she didn't want the people that were working the restaurant to take Frank. She wanted to take Frank throughout the day and then have it as our little pet. I guess, I don't know.
I love her more every single story I hear about her.
This is the kind of shit you could get on the Two Player Podcast. What did Matt and Brittany have to eat on the 311 cruise? So we are here with Tony, our crew member. Have you been drinking any coffee?
Lots of coffee, though it's regular coffee. This boat has some lame-ass coffee. We want the super coffee. We get no super coffee on this boat.
The coffee on this boat is like licking the side of an ashtray and not in a nice way.
We're never coming on a fucking cruise again.
That's not what you told Eric.
That's not true. We're coming back.
Take it back. Take it back.
All right, Tom.
All right.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye,
Till next time.
Tom. Let's just pause right here. I'm going to tell you the moment when I thought, Cruz, you've got the best of me.
Oh, yeah, let's ask you.
Every single morning at 8:05 when I had to sit there and wait to pounce on Hogue because I cannot wait to have breakfast when I wake up in the morning. And I would sit in the bathroom trying to listen to a podcast which would start and stop and start because the stupid Wi-Fi wouldn't work. Finally, at 9:15, I would pounce him, and then he would dawdle for a fucking hour before I could have any food.
Is it my turn to cross-examine myself?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. I wake up.
I can't even imagine what you have to say on this subject.
All I want to do is watch some Phillies highlights, check the score, decelerate out of sleep into wakedom.
That says a lot about who you are, that's all you want to do.
Well, I'm sorry about that. We are going to keep moving.
Okay, yeah. Casey, was there a point on this cruise where you thought, Cruz, you win, I give up?
Right now, I give up.
I submit.
You submit.
I submit to
Well, fun.
the cruise gods.
He's here.
I'm still going.
Yeah.
I'm submitting to the cruise gods. This is Marissa.
It is. Yes.
Hello.
I'm so glad you've arrived. All right. So, what was your go-to meal on the cruise?
Steak.
You
So
too.
good.
Good. How do you get your steak?
Rare.
Me too.
Yeah.
Very. Okay. Any final thoughts for Marissa?
Nope, our drinks are ready.
Yay!
That concludes our inserts for the two-player podcast, recapping the 311 cruise. Back to you, Bonesaw Hogue.
Tony sure had a thing about the coffee, huh?
I feel him, man. You know, the coffee was a huge downgrade this time. And Tony and I both would like some strong coffee. And Colleen, so we had to.
I do.
Colleen, walk us through the costumes our team came with.
Hogue and Bonesaw represented as cave people, cavemen,
Yeah.
and really got into character, including Bonesaw, which I was proud of because that's not usually. Hogue really likes to commit to a bit. Bonesaw,
For better or
less
worse.
So. Bonesaw also observed in one of the pictures just yesterday that it illuminated how flat-footed he is, especially in comparison with Hogue, because you were both barefoot.
Yeah, thus my persistent plantar fasciitis.
Right, right.
That's funny.
And Megan, because Megan is a costume wizard who really commits in terms of the makeup and all the gear. And she also brought out some stuff that she had made in the past to be essentially a wind-up, like a wind-up doll,
Yeah.
but in more of a steampunk kind of aesthetic.
Complete with a key. A
Yeah, a
giant
key, like a giant key on her back. And
It was tough in the elevators.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she got a lot of compliments because her makeup was so on point. And literally I threw on essentially some fake leather pants and some heels and a pink lady's shirt and curled my hair and did some cat eyes and went as Bad Sandy from Grease.
It didn't look like a
Finale
throw
Sandy.
together.
No, you had it. You nailed it. It was great. Speaking of sticking to a bit, you and I tried to just only talk in grunts when we were in costume.
I did. I think I annoyed people that I stuck to the bit so long. I know I annoyed Megan because I refused to break character. So much so that it was the end of the night. Most people are asleep, and we're in our hallway, walking down the hallway, and I'm doing like the right foot drag, like caveman walk, and nobody's there. And Megan just turns to me and goes, "You're done." And I was like, "There's 6 more steps. Let me have this." Give us your assessment of a yoga class with Bonesaw on the boat.
Ooh, this is a good question.
Meaning I'm the one who leads the class.
I think maybe 40 people. What do you think, Bonesaw? About 40?
40 or 50, yeah.
Yeah. I think he really knows, like in his mind, he's got a good plan. He leads a good class. He has a good flow. He obviously has like natural charisma and leadership, and people enjoy.
And the hot bod.
And the hot bod, let me tell you. He's so tan. But I did have some people, like he gave me a task a couple times and said like, okay, now you take over this little section. The first time he just totally surprised me with it. He didn't even tell me he was going to do it. And I did have some people say like, ooh, as soon as we heard your voice, we were like, there's the teacher voice.
But also, I sort of have to play up a bit because like I'm not a yoga instructor. So I kind of have to like, I sort of try to discount that by not trying to say all the right words. I'm not going to say like, Utkatasana or whatever the fuck that move is called. You know what I'm saying?
I think it's Utkatasana. Yeah.
It might be.
So
is it?
close.
I'm not going to try to say that one. I'm just going to be like, yeah, this is called the fire hydrant or whatever, like dog piss move or whatever it's called.
Everyone getting a dog piss move, please.
This has been a great recap. I think one takeaway is that we're hoping we can do some more of these cruises in a non-311 community.
All right. You got to pick up your daughter. I don't know what you got to do. Probably get ready for the wedding we're going to later.
Have to
In
get ready
2
for the
hours.
wedding. Oh my gosh.
2
It
and a
is in
half
2
hours.
hours.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
gosh.
have to get going.
Yeah, okay.
Thanks for listening, everyone. We will be back for the next Talking Two-Player episode and take some of the questions that we got from the subscriber party on the 311 cruise. Peace.